Hello, Capricorn. This is a reading for you for 2023 to celebrate the new year. I gather you had quite the celebration. The energy that I'm kind of feeling in this space of Capricorn energy is pretty interesting. Oh, the cats are okay. They're going to do this on display. You can see the cats. They're there. And they're having a little bit of a war. They're having a little play fight. It's really that. It's so interesting. The cats are picking up on the energy really well. It feels to me like it's there's that again with the movies. Like I'm getting a real with the last bunch of readings. I'm getting a lot of resonance with it would belong in a movie script. So 2023 for a lot of you is going to be it's the story's going to be told a lot more like a movie. It's going to be a lot more coherent in 2023 than it has been in the past maybe few years for you, especially for you Capricorn, but along the lines of a really funny movie. It's almost a humor. I'm getting something those funny movies where there's those kind of aloof, I don't know. How would you put it? I'm thinking of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures or something like that where the movie is, I'm seeing Keanu Reeves for some reason. And I'm seeing what? Just an aloof kind of somebody tries to tell him something profound but eventually down the road, this person who appears to be kind of a little bit of an idiot turns out to actually have some of the most profound things to say in the weirdest but most appropriate moments. That's the kind of energy I'm getting, these inspirational stories about how even that is something about dreams being more important than, or being more effective, or ultimately what matters. People who are going after what actually matters. Does it matter how they're going about it if they're going after what matters? So Capricorn, as much as I tend to kind of, shy away from this energy because it feels to me almost like a a little bit of a headbutt from a goat. Oh my goodness, these cats are going to destroy the set during your reading. It's also feeling a little bit more like a party energy. I can tell that you had a wild night on New Year's Eve, and I can tell that you really went for it and that you had a great time. And say what you want about people having a great time on New Year's Eve. If you're in a position where you're not really in the mood for a party. But Capricorn had a great time. And there's something to it. There's something about having a really good time. Taurus's reading was right before this one. And I felt like injecting a little and also make sure there's room for some fun. I don't, I'm not trying to suggest that everything is about something super serious. Capricorn energy is kind of depicting that fun. So maybe there's a message for Taurus to kind of make sure you're buddies with a Capricorn this year because Capricorn's going to be able to show you how to have a good time. Or at least is always going to be up for a good time. It's there's something about leaning into fun. Eight of Swords. That's so interesting because that's the same card that came out. We're streaming live right now too, and so in between recording, we're drawing a few cards here and there, and this card came out. Yeah. Other people don't understand how you can have such a good time in a time like this. How could you laugh in a time like this, Capricorn? This is I can't believe you just said that. You're telling inappropriate jokes. There's something about just having. Now this is a star card. It's nothing small. Like it might be that you're pretty raw, that you're willing to make light of a pretty heavy situation, or like this is just more to depict the energy rather than a certain circumstance that you're going to face. It's more like even in the darkest times, you're available to kind of like, I don't know, streak across the front lawn. Okay, I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting that out of the Capricorn energy. There's just this wildness to your energy. That's all in good fun. And not a lot of people are going to get it. But almost like because people don't get it, that's what makes it so sweet. All right, Capricorn, I'll give you this one. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. The star is pointing to the idea that it's not without its purpose. It's not just for nothing. It's that if you're going for the things that matter, does it really matter how you're going about getting there? Can it matter? There's another, I can't believe. Yes, it matters. How are you going about it, Capricorn? It matters. There's somebody who's upset because they can't believe that you just made a joke in a time like this. And we can almost kind of stretch out to say, well, you know what? This person doesn't see the point in your humor, but that doesn't mean it's not funny. Oh, the cats are just destroying things back there. Then there's somebody who is seriously put out by something that you do out of a jest or a joke. It's kind of like maybe you watch yourself a little bit. There's this unhinged kind of energy about you this year that it's almost like you're being released from a cage, like that you trying to get in all the, it's like Colin was sick, right? And as soon as he started to feel better, he just like dug into all the things that he loves the most. He doubled down on it. Sometimes when we're being erratic and going with the way we feel and actually allowing ourselves to kind of let loose, we can do a few things that put people out. And so careful about that. There's something about the 5 of coins. There's 2 different kinds of people who are complaining about what you do. And there might be a few, well, mistakes. We all make them, right? You might have all the best intentions, but you might not always see what's coming. Having said that, this is like the equivalent of somebody walking out into the middle of an active racetrack and being put out because they got hit. It seems like you won't, I'm not saying you can do anything you want, although maybe that is what I'm saying. Like you can't go wrong in 2023 or something like that, but take that with a grain of salt and use that responsibly. It's more like whoever ends up getting hurt in the types of things that we're talking about here, we're not going to give a ticket to the race car driver. We're not going to arrest the race car driver for hitting someone who walked out into the middle of the track, right? Of course, you know, nobody deserves to get hit by a race car, but at the same time, it's like... But nevertheless, Capricorn isn't without kind of sense of responsibility and potential for guilt and things for, you know, consequences of your actions. It's still a consequence of your action. Your decision to drive a race car, for example, put you in a position where you might one day hit a spectator, and that's just like one of those rogue things that might happen. I'm really sorry for that kind of gruesome imagery there, but this is the type of... Oh, look who's here. Uh-oh. This energy isn't for me to lean into. It's for you to lean into, Capricorn. Currently in Capricorn today, in the transits, there's Mercury, there's Pluto, and there's the Sun. It could be that you're leading the way in something here. Sometimes when someone needs to make an example, they exaggerate so that everybody gets the message, so that the message is heard more loudly. We've been listening to sludge rock all night, like, or at least parts of that genre, and like some other things that are kind of sludgy, and there's a spirit to the sludge that it's kind of like it's a bit unhinged, and there's a bit of a controlled environment to allow yourself to just go bananas in. Be like those, those axe throwing. You go to the axe throwing, like, okay, you're in this environment, you can throw axes, but you've got some parameters. You got to throw it down this thing. And Capricorn is just ready to go, and you'll do really well with stuff like that. So it's not necessarily about axe throwing, but it's about controlled environments where you can express kind of a bit more fully all the darkest, kind of most hilarious things that you're capable of doing, like streaking across a front lawn at a house party on a New Year's Eve. Who did that? One of you. I can't see any details. I'm not looking, but I just know that there's a naked person running across. I don't know what gender or anything, or what sex, sorry, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't need to gender anybody. There's a naked body running across the lawn. It all happened so fast, but it's hilarious. It's kind of like that thing I was talking about at the beginning of all the readings. I think I said it in one of the first readings we did, which would have, I don't know which one now. I'm kind of lost track of which one. You'd have to watch them all to figure out which one it's in. There's the circle analogy, that taking something as far as it can go. If you take something as far as it can go, the next step takes you back to the beginning. It's back to a new beginning, but it's still a beginning, and beginnings have certain characteristics to them. There's something about parody. It's like making fun of things. It's all about having fun. It's about making fun of things. Dressing up like the Pope and walking around and, I'm just about to give a real example, aren't I? Dressing up like the Pope on Halloween and walking around and saying, it would be really great if we could commit genocide tomorrow. Stuff like that, like really dark humor, really, really dark. That only a Capricorn could achieve. Ooh, but I love it. You know what? We all secretly love it, Capricorn. I'd never do it myself, but I love that someone does it. I love that it's almost like a form of protest, but not really taken, it's not taken that seriously, but it is a comment, it's a commentary. So 2023 is like your year to make your commentary. There's something about, departing from just kind of like doing it anyway, even though people are telling you, like, it feels like I'm giving you permission to hurt people's feelings. It's no, but yes, but no, but yes. Kind of going for it anyway, despite the fact that there's people who are going to be trying to use all kinds of tactics to make you feel bad for, for taking things to the next level because they're not ready for it. Well, you know what? Pisces got trailblazer too. You're a trailblazer, and whoever's taking our perceptions to the next level, this is a Capricorn job this year. Whoever's taking our perceptions to the next level, you're going to meet a lot of egos that aren't aware that they exist yet. Like, basically, like an ego that's left unchecked is an ego that operates in the dark, and it has people doing all kinds of things to prevent you from revealing what is hidden underneath. There's going to be a lot of resistance. And you're going to know inherently where that resistance comes from. You're going to know the difference between someone who's kind of telling you that you're hurting them and someone who's telling you that you're trying to reveal something they don't want to see, that they're not ready to see. But nobody's ever ready for this stuff. There's a trailblazer who pushes people's boundaries a little bit. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect people's boundaries. They set them for good reasons. I'm very sure of it. But you use your discretion, Capricorn. You know how to do this kind of thing. You've been at it the longest. This is like there's people here who don't want to see what you're trying to show them in your commentary. And the thing is that you're not showing them anything that belongs to anybody other than them. If they don't like your Pope joke, then that's their problem for not wanting to see that the institution they revere so highly is pretty much much more gruesome than Jeffrey Dahmer, yet Jeffrey Dahmer gets a whole series. You know? And that reputation of Jeffrey Dahmer, like this organization, it's like 8,000 Jeffrey Dahmers, more than that. You know, like even if it was just 8,000, not saying each individual is that, it's the institution as a whole has represented more carnage and destruction than one serial killer. Yet we demonize a serial killer and we still like to respect that organization. We can have a series about how Jeffrey Dahmer was kind of a little bit of a charming individual, but we don't have, and still what he did is messed up and he needs to go to jail. Even though he's charming, or he was kind of crafty. And we can hate that we think that something is charming. Like, oh, what's another one? Ted Bundy. Oh, we're getting into like the serial killer genre here. Like true crime stuff might be appealing to you if you're resonating with this reading. Ted Bundy was like an attractive guy, right? Like he was constantly charming the ladies. Well, we can think that somebody's an attractive guy and also recognize at the same time that he committed heinous crimes. So as much as people don't, this would be like the equivalent of somebody who wants to tell you that, oh, but he was such an attractive guy. Yeah, well, and then that just might encourage you to double down on it. Like a joke, something like, oh yeah, well, you know, truth be told, if I wanted to be serially murdered, part of a serial killer's victim list, I would definitely want the serial killer to be attractive. You know, something like that. I'm getting these kind of like really like deep cuts into some mentalities that are supporting things. And you know what? Like nobody likes to do the dirty work. And it looks like Capricorn's doing the dirty work yet again. As a Capricorn might say to themselves, maybe not so loudly so that other people might be able to hear it if they're listening. I don't know. I'm digging into Capricorn in a good way. Like, I feel like this year is about you. You have a purpose to serve in this momentum forward in 2023. Your purpose is to do the things that most of us really don't want to be held responsible for doing. Most of us don't have the constitution to withstand so much potential for guilt. So that very same thing that allows you to dig deeper into dark humor is that quality that enables you to move this whole thing forward, to address the impossible. What's impossible for any of us to address. This is like, Ooh. Can a Capricorn feel guilt? Oh. It's not that they can't feel guilt. It's that they can handle it. Well, not many more cards are coming out. 2 more come out, but this is more like a, okay, fine. Here's a little bit more. I want to know where you're going. In 2023, you're going to a place. 10 of Coins, Page of Wands. 10 of Coins is your card. This is as earthy as it gets. Your feet and ears to the ground. Soldier. You're on the ground. You're the correspondent. Like when we go and we're on the news and we want to know what's going on down there, we're going to call you, and you're going to have to get in front of the camera and like have a microphone, and you're just kind of hunkered down in the battlefield, and you're letting us know what's really going on. You got to let us know what's really going on. Somebody's got to figure it out. So lean into your energy. Those kind of interesting drives you might have to push things and push people. Yeah, we want to live in a peaceful world where everybody's, singing songs together. We can do that. While you do this. I'm sorry. Page of Wands. Page of Wands came to us as a listening. Actually, I think it was a collective reading we did right before we started recording the Zodiac reading. So I'll take it as the listening. We got a message about opening up to the idea that the ways that you hear messages can be a lot more than what's typically represented. The ways that you find the people can be a lot more varied in 2023. You're out and about. You're in a party mode. I see you being social. I see you being open to engaging with all kinds of fun situations. I don't see you seeking out opportunities to execute this thing. I see you just being naturally in that environment in the Page of Wands. You just kind of stumble into, and that might give you some confirmation that this reading actually is kind of giving you a message. If you find you're constantly in 2023, early in the year, you'll start to notice I keep getting into these situations where somebody says something racist and I've got to show them what they've just done. Like I've got to make an ironic joke about it, or I keep getting into these situations and I don't expect it. I never expect it. That I expect to just kind of get into something like a party. And next thing you know, people are being ignorant a-holes. So you might resonate with that idea. And it could have it feels to me like there would have been a little bit of that starting at the end of 2022. There might have been a fight on New Year's Eve. You might have gotten into a fight on New Year's Eve. Oh, who am I reading for? Who had a bloody nose on New Year's Eve? Or I see a bloody ear. That's dangerous. That sounds like pretty brutal. You know what? I don't mean to be so graphic, but I'm definitely seeing some kind of a really pretty intense confrontation that starts out at a party that's meant for a good time, and then it's somebody who doesn't react well to your willingness to comment on someone's ignorance. And I guess that message comes as brutally as it does to remind you to keep yourself safe. When guilt is the weapon, you're a powerhouse. But when brute strength is the weapon, don't forget you're just a goat. There are some bisons out there who would trample over you in 2 minutes. Be careful. Still be aware of your safety. Choose wisely the moments when you're not going to do this. Keep an open mind for some discretion. Mostly indiscretion, some discretion to keep yourself safe. I think that's it for your reading. That's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you want to watch more readings live streamed, you can come to the Tarot and Lady in a Church channel on Twitch. That's where we do live streaming. And sometimes we listen to sludge rock, so you might like that. Not that all Capricorns like sludge rock, but I don't know. I've never met one who doesn't. Maybe I just haven't met enough Capricorns. Get out there. I want to meet more Capricorns. Thanks so much. Take care.